I'm going to try to take him for his word as best I can. He's had a lot of time to think about what he was going to say, having wanted to do this for 5 years. If it was primarily an injury, body-related journey for him, so be it. I think that there's a little bit of confusion that, his comments on how it didn't really relate to performance. I know he had a lot of the confidence in his ability, but over time, things he was able to do, the cumulative effect of the things that he put into his body, it's hard for anyone not to believe that had an effect on the actual performance and things he was able to do.
All right, Paul, from a real basic perspective then, once you put that together, then you take the body of work and you look back on it, which is something that we're all going to be doing, and
right.
Is that now tainted? Is that now not what we watched at the time and enjoyed and marveled at the Paul Bunyan-esque way that he approached things?
I think it's tarnished. I respect Mark a lot yesterday. I found myself, feeling bad for the position he was in. We all heard what he had to say, but, there's no way that I can believe as a player, a former player, that what he did and what he, decided to do in terms of trying to keep himself healthy and feel normal, so to speak, that it doesn't tarnish all the numbers he was able to put up. Certainly he was gifted. God gave him tremendous ability to hit a baseball and hit it a long way. But it just doesn't match up when you talk about that length of time for what he was able to do with or without the steroids.
Paul, when you look at a guy and you think about, so many accomplishments, and you've played with guys, Fred McGriff comes to mind, and he falls just short of 500. Now, it's always going to be difficult, and I'm really at a loss to try to get a grip on how we are going to evaluate the quote-unquote steroid era. Do we discount everything they did, or we just ignore it and lump them all into that era and judge them simply among those peers?
Well, Buck, you're probably going to talk to a lot of guests over the next few days about this topic, and if someone comes up with a good solution, will you let me know? Because it's just one of those things where, I think you just kind of have to leave it in. I don't think you can go about changing numbers. There's too many lines to cross, too many debates that involve unknowns, which players hit what home runs off which pitchers that were not on steroids, and which teams won championships with so many players that were on steroids. The era, I don't know how you even mark the years because when it started or when it finished, but there was a time in baseball where names, the integrity of the game, teams who won championships, all were affected by the use of steroids. So I think we're just going to have to accept it that one part of the baseball history that's going to have that little bit of, a little bit of a scar to it.